Inside the stadium under the Toronto skyline, the 2026 World Cup group stage is reaching a fever pitch. A massive underdog, Panama, is going toe-to-toe with European heavyweight Croatia. Deep into the second half, the game is still scoreless. Panama is piling on the pressure, stretching the Croatian defense to its breaking point. They hit the crossbar. They force a dangerous set piece. The stadium senses the momentum is becoming unstoppable. And then, right at the peak of the onslaught, the referee blows his whistle. Not for a foul, but for a mandated hydration break. The game grinds to a halt. The air in Toronto was only 72 degrees, hardly the conditions for heat exhaustion. This was a structural pause baked directly into the tournament's mechanics, rather than a medical necessity. As the World Cup modernizes its regulations, these new mechanics are quietly neutralizing the one weapon underdogs have always relied on to slay giants: raw, uninterrupted momentum. Traditionally, international football is built on two continuous 45-minute halves. That uninterrupted flow is crucial for a smaller nation. It allows them to build an emotional, overwhelming wave of energy that can truly rattle a superior opponent. This diagram illustrates the traditional 45-minute flow of a half, but a mandated hydration break chops that continuous block into separate quarters. When that timeline snaps, the underdog's adrenaline drops, their heart rate settles, and the emotional surge they spent 30 minutes building evaporates. On the other sideline, this break is a lifeline for an elite squad. It acts as a free timeout, allowing a world-class coach like Croatian manager Zlatko Dalić to pull his players out of the chaos. He gets 3 minutes to bring his team back down to earth. He can tactically reshuffle his defensive shape on the fly, point out the exact weakness Panama is exploiting, and instruct his veteran squad on how to plug the holes. The end result is that a mid-half timeout actively protects the favorites. It replaces the wild unpredictability of human momentum with cold, calculated strategy. In international football, game management describes a team's psychological capacity to absorb intense, suffocating pressure without breaking their structural shape. Panama plays with massive heart and high emotion, feeding off their supporters. But once their rhythm is broken, that passion can devolve into chaos, and their attacking movements lose synchronicity. On the other side, Luka Modrić is a specialist in elite game management, the exact type of veteran who thrives right after a tactical reset. Modrić didn't need to outrun the Panamanian midfield to neutralize them. He simply dropped deep to collect the ball, dictated the possession, and brought the game's tempo down to a crawl while he waited to deliver one splitting pass. Passion and effort can take an underdog close to a miracle. But the cold, calculated patience of veteran game management dictates the final outcome. Moving focus up the pitch to the final third reveals the most difficult area to master. This is where attacking chances have to be converted into goals. This is where Panama's effort stalled. Despite outshooting Croatia in the second half, they lacked cool heads in front of the net, leading to rushed crosses and misfired shots. Croatia, meanwhile, holds a structural advantage. When their starting 11 struggles to score, they can turn to a deep bench stacked with elite goal scorers waiting to be deployed. Following Dalić's tactical adjustments, he subs on fresh, clinical strikers from the Bundesliga and La Liga, who quickly find the back of the net to seal a 1-0 victory. The true gap between football's top tier and everyone else isn't found in midfield possession statistics. It's found in the ruthless efficiency of a deep bench operating in the final third. This leaves Panama facing a heartbreaking tournament exit. They were eliminated after 2 tight 1-0 defeats, games where they dominated long stretches of play. It marks the closing of a window for Panama's golden generation. This squad of veterans lifted Panamanian football to new heights over the last decade, yet they still couldn't break through that final barrier. This animated diagram shows how the World Cup's entry gate is expanding. The tournament is growing from 32 teams to 48, a structure designed to guarantee that smaller nations qualify far more frequently. But that expansion creates an illusion. Getting a seat at the tournament does not mean the playing field is level once the whistle blows. As the modern World Cup introduces artificial breaks and rewards deep rosters, heart and momentum alone are no longer enough to win. To survive a tournament designed to protect the giants, underdogs must match them with long-term structural investment.